Yo, yo, yo. What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Clay coming at you with another video from beautiful San Diego, California. It is absolutely very nice sunset, cloudy evening here. It has been one day since returning from the Showdown show in Las Vegas, or Laughlin, Nevada. So we took the Suburban. This is my Chevy Suburban audio build. It has 8 18-inch subwoofers, and this is what we brought to Showdown. If you're new to the channel, definitely check out some of the videos. I actually have a bunch of videos. Pretty much this whole thing was built on this channel, so I have all of the, pretty much all of it in order. So definitely check those videos out if you haven't watched them yet. Actually, go back and watch them right now and then come back and watch this. That'd be cool. Anyways, guys, like I said, we're back from the show. Everything went, I would say I had a good time. I would have had a better time if I didn't run into some of the issues that I ran into. And I guess we'll just jump into those, some of those issues now. But we'll start with the positive stuff first. All right, so on the positive side, the trip there was great. I decided to actually rent a truck and trailer for this show to bring this. I don't need to truck and trailer it. This thing drives very well. I drive it all around town. I drive it to shows. I just wanted to try it out one time and see if I like it, because I see a lot of other guys do it. And it was a good time. It was cool. Pretty nerve-wracking. It was my first time towing anything, so towing something like this was pretty crazy. This thing weighs almost 10,000 pounds. But it was good. I drove this to Reno, Nevada for the Sky High Barbecue show, which was 10 hours, and Laughlin was only 5. So I easily could have driven it, but I just felt like trying out towing it. Anyways, that was good. Had a tire blowout towards the end on the trailer. It was okay, very close to home. Everything was great. Now, in terms of the performance of how it did at the show, it did a really good job. The best things to report are that I didn't blow any subs, I didn't blow any amps, and I didn't, hurt anything. At least most things. I did hurt some things, which we'll get into in a second, but it played really well. Everybody loved it. I posted, if you guys are interested in seeing some of the footage, I just posted a couple videos from Showdown. If you're interested in seeing those, I filmed a couple demos that I gave out, and it was a great time. So sub-wise, fantastic. I don't need to crawl into the box. I don't need to do anything. That is all good. What I did have an issue with, let me see, is it unlocked? I think it is I blew out every door speaker in this driver door. Passenger door, if you guys watch previous videos, you guys know that I opted to no longer put speakers over there because of the same reason. So that did fine. Well, it didn't do actually perfectly fine. That window won't go up and down now, and I think I know what it is, but I need to go into the door. So it wasn't perfect, but it definitely did better than it would have if I had speakers in it. But yeah, all of these speakers are no longer working. And I'll kind of get into what happened in a sec. So basically, everything was working fine. I gave out a bunch of demos. I decided to then go jump in the lanes for my competition runs. So I did Bass Wars first, and then I did an Ayahuasca run, both music runs. So not burps where you just hit it volume one time loud. It's where you actually play music for 30 seconds, and it's an average. So it's a lot more of a real score, in my opinion. But anyways, basically, after doing pretty much 2 160s back to back at very low frequencies at 19 hertz in Bass Wars and 29 hertz in Ayahuasca, I think the pressure actually blew out 2 of these mids. At first, what I thought was 2 mids. I went up, and basically how I figured this out is I went to go give a couple demos after I ran the lanes, and I turned everything on, and for some reason none of my door speakers were working. I had bass working, but I had nothing coming out of the speakers, no vocals at all. I checked my mids amp, which is this amp right here. The light was on from what I could see. the power light was on, but what I didn't see at the time is that the protect light was on also. So the amp actually had gone into protect. After I figured out that the amp had went into protect, after, from previous experience, I realized that it's probably because one of the speakers, at least one of the speakers, is blown and it's sending a bad signal to the amp and it's protecting it. So what I did is I went around and I pretty much checked all the speakers by pushing on them, and I found out that these two were completely locked up. So here's actually one right here. The other one I already threw away, but you can hear I've since unlocked it up, but the coil is totally, you should not be hearing that crunch. So those two were the worst blown. I thought it was maybe just two. So what I did is I pulled them out of the door, unhooked them. Luckily, the amp came out of protect after doing that, but I still wasn't getting any volume through any of these speakers. So I literally individually had a buddy with a vape, and we took his 9-volt vape battery out of his vape, and we pop tested all the speakers, and none of them popped at all. So all of these have been killed. This one is out also rubbing very bad. They all are. So the pressure took them out. Those two worse than the other ones. But anyways, yeah, so all of those blew. I don't know if the horn blew or not. I'm going to have to just try and play it and figure it out. But unfortunately, we had some casualties in the doors. Now, with that being said, I don't think I've talked about it yet, but I actually was planning on doing a new door panel with new speakers after the show. I have all the speakers already. I'm going to be doing a separate video on those doors specifically, but so I'm not really too bummed about it. I'm going to try and sell this panel and that panel. Yeah, I'm really not tripping on it too bad, because it's not, at the end of the day, there could always be worse. That's kind of the opinion that I like to try and have. It did suck though, because I really didn't demo that much on the second day of the show on Sunday, because I don't like giving out demos if it's not the full experience. I didn't want to just give base demos with no audio. So yeah. That is basically what had happened. I also had some issues with my charging on my alternator side. My belt was very loose for some reason. I think I need a new tensioner. And I have 4 alternators on this, guys, and it's 4 alternators just is kind of frustrating. The belt is really, really big. If you don't have all of the pulleys dialed perfectly, it squeaks a lot. They are very close to touching each other, and it's just kind of sketchy. So one of the things that I'm thinking about doing is actually switching to 3 alternators instead, and a different bracket, and just trying a new type of alternator, which will probably be in its own video. So that's another thing that I'm going to want to be changing as well. Yo, what is up, guys? It has been a couple days since the last video. Just continuing on with some updates on the Suburban after Showdown. So we've made some changes. So let me get a light here and show you guys what we got going on. All right, guys, got my light. I love this Husky light. It's got a magnet on the back. Really nice for showing things around. So in the last clip, I was telling you guys about how I blew out my door speakers, but I was planning on doing a new door anyway. That door is not done yet, unfortunately, so I don't have that to show you, but to get me by, just to get me by in the meantime, because I had some of these speakers laying around, as you guys can see, I have replaced 4 of the blown ones, which are these ones, the Sundown LCMR. I had 4 Neo Pro 8s laying around that I actually bought from a buddy a while ago that I never ended up using. So while I'm waiting for the new door to be built, I said, fuck it, I need some mids and some volume, so that while I'm driving this thing around, playing the bass, that I have some mids to keep up with it. So luckily these all fit in the same holes. I have no other plans for what to do with these speakers. Once I get the new doors, I'm gonna try and find something to use. But guys, these freaking speakers, I mean, I had them with right now there's only 4 of these working, right? And before I had all 6 in each door. And just these four, these are the Neo Pro version 3 8s, which are actually one model older. Just four of these are way louder than the LCMRs, which are the cheaper ones on the bottom left there that I had in both doors. So yeah, it's actually really impressive. So I've been messing around with those. Sorry, I'm trying to pull my jacket up. So I've been messing around with these. I took a couple videos today, just turning the doors up a little bit. I will add that into the video here. So these, as you guys can hear, they are pretty freaking loud. They kick really hard. They got a lot more mid bass than the previous ones. So these are gonna get me by until I get the new door panel. They're doing really good, and I love the mid bass from them, and they're still able to play pretty high. So that is how the doors are gonna be until I get the new door. So that is the update on that. And then also, let me now pop the hood. I was telling you guys about how the alternators were making noise. So I've got quite an update to show you here. So as you guys can see, this is my alternator setup under the hood. I have four 400 amp alternators under here. And like I mentioned, I was having a bunch of chirping and kind of just some weird noises going on under the hood about 2 weeks before the show that we left to. The charging was fine, everything was fine, but I was just having some weird, noises and things, and I didn't like it. And I ended up figuring out what that was. So if you guys can see, let me try and hold the light here. So this pulley, this one right here, was not spaced out enough from the bracket, and there was supposed to be a washer or two, like all of these, this pulley, all these pulleys are spaced out a little bit from the alternator or whatever's behind it, so that it doesn't rub on it. This one down here was missing a washer, and it was ever so slightly rubbing, and it was getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And we were able to pull it off, replace the washer, and now there's absolutely no more noises, and everything has been all good with it. So that's cool. I'm still thinking about swapping back to a triple setup instead of the quad, just because and also trying some different alternators instead. I'm still going to stick with the same brand, I believe, but just a different style, just to give me some more amperage at idle, because these 400s don't really make very much at idle, but they do great while I'm driving around. But so with that being said, that'll be a future video. Yeah, I'm really glad that I was able to fix the noise that was coming from that, because that is now gone, and I don't have to worry about that as much. It was just getting annoying. I'd be at a drive-through and I'd kind of hear it chirping, and it would just sound like shit, and people, I don't know, I didn't like having the noise. So I was glad that I was able to get that fixed. And then another thing that I didn't really go over in the last video, or in the beginning of the video, things I wanted to change, but I made some changes to my back sidewall here. This back sidewall houses my mids amp, my tweeters amps, my horns amp. Everything is all housed to right here. And it's also the same place that I keep my LF Audio wireless bass knob unit, as well as my DSP, and now some new things over here. So let me show you guys what we got going on here. So this is the same as before. This is an LF Audio wireless bass knob bass station. So this is basically all the RCAs come into here, and they come out of here and go to the amps, so that my knob controls it. And then over here, if you guys watched previous videos, I used to have a white Helix DSP here. I have never actually hooked it up, and it was just sitting there because it's not very user-friendly. And the first time that I hooked it up, I got some really bad whine and weird frequency playing through my speakers, and it was just scary, and I didn't want to try it again until I had somebody work on it for me. So I have a buddy that's going to be helping me with that. So until then, I put in this Expert DSP. It's upside down right now, but it's called the Expert X8 Air. My buddy Kyle told me about this unit, and it's a Brazilian unit. It's not a very expensive one, but it works so far. The reason why I ran a DSP is because I've decided to step away from using a radio. So let me show you guys in the cabin. If you guys have seen my previous videos, you would have seen that I do, for the most part, I have always ran a head unit. I love Kenwood. That is what I have always used. Single DINs, double DINs, everything. This specific model, this is a KMM X705. This is what I have ran in my last build and this build the whole entire time. This is a great radio, and I mean nothing by it, but I'm getting rid of it because I just keep going through them too often. I've now been through 3 of these radios, and I think it's just a vibration, and I will start getting a weird noise through the RCAs, and then I'll buy a new radio and I'll plug it in and the noise will be gone. So it just gets hammered too much here. So I'm over it. I'm tired of spending, it's not a super expensive radio, but it's not cheap. It's $200 or so. So I have decided to bypass the radio now, and be fully Bluetooth. So now when I play music, when I turn my car on, what happens is this little unit here turns on. So this little Bluetooth unit here is a Bluetooth adapter that you pretty much give power, ground, and remote to, and it turns on. And as soon as that turns on, your unit, so whatever you want to connect to it, so I use my iPad or my phone, Bluetooth straight to this. And how it works with car audio is it actually has RCA outputs. So you guys can see there at the top where it says left, right, those black wires lead to a set of RCAs. So what I do with those RCAs is those run into the DSP, and this is now basically my radio. So if you do want to run this thing, you have to run it with the DSP. You cannot run this by itself, because there's only one set of RCAs coming out of it. So obviously I have bass, I have mids, I have tweeters. So in order to get multiple outputs, you need to have a DSP. So I have one input of RCAs going in, and right now 3 sets of RCAs coming out. One for my mids, one for my horns, and one for my bass. There's going to be a tweeter one here, but I haven't got those set up yet because we're waiting to do the new doors. But now these run from the DSP into the LF unit. And then from here, everything goes to the amps. So these go to my bass. This set of RCAs here on the right goes to my bass amps. This set of RCAs goes to my horns amp. This set goes to my tweeters amp, or to my mids amp. When I add another tweeters amp, I'm going to have to group these somehow, and because there's not another input, so I'll have to figure that out. Yeah, so that is a big update that I no longer am, and I've been using it now for a couple days, and it's been working pretty good. However, I do have probably a change coming to this. I actually had a nicer one of these Bluetooth adapters, and when I was installing it, I accidentally made a mistake and I fried it. So I ordered another one. It was my fault totally. I didn't check the voltage. It was made more for home audio, and it was a 5 volt, not a 15 volt or 16 volt, which is what we are charging at. So yeah, it definitely fried as soon as I plugged it in. But it's pretty much one of these, but it's a little bit more high quality, and the sound out of it is supposed to be very, very good. So this is going to get me by until then. It's been working fine so far, and then when I get that one back in, I will be putting that one in instead. I've also added a couple little screens here. Let me turn everything on so I can show you. Nice thing that I love about this car is everything still turns on with the key. I don't have switches or anything. So as soon as I hit that key, that flicks a relay and that turns all of my stuff on over here. And I love that. So let me show you guys what we have going on over here. So as you guys can see, LF turns on, DSP turns on, Bluetooth adapter turns on. I have a couple. This is another thing I did is I ran a bass knob from my Ruthless bass amps, as well as a bass knob from my 5000.2 for my mids. And these have clip lights on them, so I will actually be able to see if I'm clipping in real time while I'm demoing from out here. So I like to be able to see that. As well as I also added a voltmeter here. This is from Basshead Garage. And I'm also adding another watt meter here as well so that I can watch my watts from the outside of the car, because I usually demo from outside. I do have one of these watt meters inside here, right next to the LF Audio voltmeter. But I want to add one on the outside as well, so that when I'm demoing from outside of the vehicle, I can see how much I'm clamping. I don't have to look in there and try and look over somebody getting a demo, especially while the bass is on. It's just kind of hard to see. And the nice thing, the other reason why I added another one is because people are probably thinking, oh, why didn't you just move the one from the cabin and over here instead? And I may end up doing that, and then I may make this one dedicated where I can, instead of clamping the bass amps, I will actually be clamping my mids amp. So I'll know how much power I'm clamping to my doors, because this next door setup is going to be clamping a lot more power than the cheap speakers that I had in there before. So it's going to be nice to be able to see the live watts on there. But that's about the only update here. I just wanted to give you guys a little some things that I needed to fix right away, which are going to be fixed after Showdown. The doors are already working again, just with different speakers, but I have a whole new door panels coming for those soon. That's going to be its own video. If I switch alternators, which I probably still plan to, that's going to be its own video. I'm going to show you guys what alternators I go with instead. Other than that, oh, and then also I may make a video if this new one of the, like I told you, the Bluetooth adapter that I fried, if that one comes in and it's even better than this one, I'll probably make a video on that one. Everybody's going to be buying that thing after I make a video on it. So I don't know if I want to let out the secret, but I might, just because that's what I'm all about on this channel, is letting you guys know how it's done. So, so that's actually probably going to do it for this video. I just wanted to get you guys, some footage on some things that we needed to update after the show. Overall, though, it was a great show, just some minor casualties here and there. But it was good. It was really good. Glad I went, had a great time, but there's always things to be changed and always things to be upgraded. So that's kind of how we do it over here. So I'll see you guys in the next video. There should be some new, one of those videos should be coming soon, so you guys can look forward to that. I will catch you guys on the flip side. See ya.